Welcome to the Soul of Medicine. So welcome back, everybody, to the Soul of Medicine podcast. I'm your host, Dr. K. Corpus. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a true skin savior, Sydney Carroll of Sydney K Aesthetics in Henderson, Kentucky. Sydney is a licensed esthetician with a passion for helping her clients achieve radiant, healthy skin through her commitment to organic and holistic practices. She specializes in using premium plant-based products like L'Oreal Whole Plant Organics to create customized treatments that nourish both body and mind. Sydney believes that glowing skin starts from within, and she takes a comprehensive approach to skincare that addresses her clients' overall well-being. Whether you're struggling with stubborn skin issues or simply want to elevate your self-care routine, Sydney's expertise and warm, caring demeanor make her the perfect guide. So sit back, relax, and get ready to soak up some serious skin wisdom as we dive into Sydney's inspiring journey and the transformative power of organic, holistic skincare. Welcome, Sydney. Hi. Thanks so much for being here. I'm super excited. It's kind of interesting. I know I told you the story when I saw you that I've been using this skincare line for years and been looking for somebody in the area who would carry it. Of course, I never thought anybody would in this area, but your name popped up and I'm like, I need to come see her. So yeah, and your touch and your aesthetic is so adorable. So I'm just really excited to talk to you. So can you tell us, a little bit about your background and how you got started in the world of skincare?
Yeah, so I'm Sydney, and I have been a licensed esthetician in Kentucky for 4 years now, and I've had my business for the past 3 years. And I kind of got into the skincare world because of struggling with acne growing up. It was a constant battle, and antibiotics weren't working. Going to the dermatologist, getting told to be put on Accutane, it just was not something I'm interested in. And so I just kind of did a big deep dive into what I was putting on my face. So it was an eye-opening experience. And that's why I decided to become more conscious of the products and the ingredients. And if it's organic, that's why I decided to use that type of product. And then slowly over time, my skin just gets better. And now I don't have that cystic acne anymore.
I have a lot of patients who, have this issue. And as you know, it's topical too, but it's also from the inside out, right? And so kind of a journey to kind of figure out and trial and error, and using a lot of harsh products on your skin or antibiotics for that matter. And the gut rules the skin. So you're wiping away that biome that's so important for detoxification, right? So what inspired you to open up your own business and what makes your business unique?
So what inspired me to open up my own business was my grandma. I was very close to her growing up. I would spend almost every single weekend with her. And she was in love with nature and plants. And at a young age, she always talked to me about the healing properties of plants. So like if I would get a cut or a scrape, she had an aloe vera plant in her house and she would just cut it off for me and slather it on my skin. And that just she put that love into me for earth and the healing properties it can bring. And I just really want to share that with people, especially in the age of technology where I feel like it's really easy to stay inside all day on your phone and not really think about what's outside.
Yeah. And how healing it can actually be, right? And I think, you're right. We forget how powerful Mother Nature is. I mean, it's all there in her rhythms, in her being, in her energy. And we were actually over there in your area at John James doing this forest bathing. And, you pass it on the highway all the time, but you don't really realize when you're in that kind of ecosystem and present with it, or anywhere for that matter in nature, how powerful and healing it can be. And we're always searching for the next best thing, the next best product, the next best whatever. And it's kind of right in our backyard.
Yeah, it literally is. There's so many amazing plants that are just waiting to be found and treasured. You don't always have to go look for the next best machine or product. It's just literally, like you said, outside in our backyard. So
let's talk about Laurel Whole Plants organic line. What drew me to that line was, she was doing like small farming and small batches. And I knew that she probably put love into every single flower that she did. It was just really lovely. I can tell it on my skin, and I haven't used any other product since using that, and I love it. So could you tell me, what drew you to her brand in particular, and walk us through some of your favorite products?
Yeah. So what drew me into the brand, I was kind of like you. I was searching for a holistic facial, and there was nothing around here at the time, nothing especially holistic. And so I would watch YouTube videos, and there was a holistic facial demo. And the esthetician, her name's Megan Nino. She's really interesting and has a lot of knowledge to offer. But she talked about the products she uses, which were Laurel. And I saw her demonstrate the facial. I thought it was really interesting that you didn't have to use a bunch of machines. It was very touch-based, less tech. And I just felt captivated by the brand. Like I could not stop thinking about it. And when I decided to become an esthetician, I was like, that's what I want to work with. Like maybe not now, but later, like that's the goal. That's the end goal, because I tried to find other brands that were kind of within the same realm, and it just doesn't compare. Like I just kept gravitating back towards it constantly. I just felt so called to it, and we needed something like that around here.
For sure. And I find her products are really healing. I mean, if you look at the ingredients, and the herbs that she uses, like, anti-inflammatory, like calendula, she uses a lot in there. And I'm like, this all makes sense the way that she put it together. So that there's a lot of brains and knowledge and, not just intuition behind it, but I think it's even scientific the way that she puts it together, not in like a in the lab kind of way, but like the way nature intended. So what are I'll tell you some of my favorite products. It was funny. I was like, I use that and that and that and that and that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love the whole lot. So what are your favorites that you love to use?
So one of my top favorites is the antioxidant mask. It is, if I really want to wow somebody and they have an event they're going to go to, or they're struggling with some sun damage, they want a good glow, I put that on, add some elixir on top throughout their mask, and leave it on for 10 to 15 minutes, take it off. It is a huge difference within the face, and it adds such vibrancy. And with sun damage, it really lightens it. Like I call it my sun damage treatment because it is amazing. It is my absolute favorite product I use. And I know that everybody that gets it will leave very happy. And I like to apply it not just on the face. I like to go down to the neck and the chest as well. So, yeah.
That sounds good. I need to try that one. So could you talk about, there's this whole in the beauty industry, injections and using all of that. And then you have this sort of what you do, this more natural facial. Could you speak to that, like your thoughts on it and how your business either works with that or, I don't know, opposite that?
So my whole philosophy with that, I'm not like 100% no, you can't ever do that. I think of it like a pyramid. At the bottom, we have our good skincare, organic skincare at home. Then we have our facial treatments, massage, a healthy diet. And as you go up that pyramid, then there is a little bit of space left for, injectables or Botox if you'd like. Most people, I think, flip-flop it and they make that the bottom, the most important, where they only focus on that. And I think that's super unhealthy. But I feel like if you focus on taking care of your skin inwardly and outwardly, that can always be the icing on the cake if that is suitable for you. I find that most of my clients that come to me aren't interested in that and they just want to age gracefully, naturally, and do it a more holistic way.
I agree. I haven't had any of that. One, I'm like afraid of needles, so I don't know that I would ever do it. But what I've noticed as I've gotten older, so I'm in my early 50s now, and what I've noticed with my skin, it was like when I work with my fascia layers, like, and even from like a stress perspective, because I feel like the skin and the body and the fascia holds a lot of stress and trauma and all of that. And I feel like the more I work on that inside and outside, I feel like there's less like wrinkles on my skin. I don't know. That's just kind of one thing that I like. My skin feels smoother like when I've worked on that from the inside. Because when you're thinking about stuff and worried about stuff, I mean, it just creates like contraction. Don't you feel like
your face tells a story of what you're going through or what you've been through. So if a client comes in and I see deep lines right here, normally that client is very stressed, constantly thinking about something, not able to turn off. So, our skin really does tell what's going on inwardly with our emotions, with our diet, everything. I'm super interested in that.
Well, and I think the facial, I mean, yeah, you're working on the superficial layers, but it's also nice to have feedback of like, oh, I didn't even know that I was like, when somebody's like working on it or you're working on it or doing lymph drainage or gua sha or something, it's just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I was holding on there. So how much do you think in your job you function sort of as this mirror and this feedback system of like, where maybe you're the facilitator of helping them figure out where they need to let go, that they need to let go, where they need to let go, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I found in your presence, you're so much more of this like healer, almost you kind of have this shaman quality to you that it's like, and we're using the beautiful products, which is lovely also, which helps in that deeper layer. But I think that the way that you are kind of this conduit, for that healing. I don't know if that's just essentially who you are, sounds like it, or that's part of your training, but that definitely comes out in your sessions.
Oh, thank you. That makes me happy.
Yeah, it's really lovely. And I think that's important, right? Because sometimes you go to massage therapists and you can tell that they're holding on to their stuff or not leaving it out the door. And it's like, it gets in your space. Do you know what I mean? How would you describe your approach to these skincare treatments and how does it align with the principles of, like you mentioned some of that, so of holistic living? Like, would you say to somebody, it's like maybe sugar caused this, or maybe, do you add sort of that extra layer of lifestyle in their skincare?
I do. I like to always preface by saying, I'm not a dietitian or anything, but, sugar has been shown to lead to, increase of acne, fine lines. Definitely, I like to kind of give that feedback, and normally people take that and they look more into it, which is kind of the goal. But yeah, I definitely try to give feedback even outside of skincare because it's all related.
It's so
all
related.
Interconnected.
I love that you do that. And
yeah.
That's beautiful. So could you take us through what a typical treatment looks like for you and how you customize it for your clients?
So normally I have my clients come in, I have their robe ready, their bed warming up, and if they choose to put on a robe or not, I take a step out, close the door, let them get comfortable. That's like the biggest thing for me. This is not my time, it's your time. You get comfortable. You feel like this is your space, not mine. So I give them a couple minutes, I'll knock back on the door, come back in, and then see if they're ready for me. And then from there, I'm not the type of esthetician that puts a big magnifying lamp in your face and inspects every little thing. That's wrong. I'm not like that. I don't think there's any help in that. It makes the client as well feel really tense and less able to relax. So I will look over their skin, turn that lamp off, and really just touch and feel the face. So as I'm doing the cleanse, the exfoliation, I'm really feeling any ridges within the skin that are like fine lines or wrinkles, any heat that's like within the cheeks. That's normally rosacea or inflammation. I like to just feel everything. And as I go along throughout the facial, I get my products ready. So I'm not looking at your skin and then going back and getting all your products ready for the facial and coming back and doing it. I do that throughout it because the skin is ever changing. And there's just not a particular skin type you have for the rest of your life. So I like to focus on being intuitive with what I do. Yeah.
You definitely do that. So you mentioned acne as, one of the specific skin issues that you've seen. This approach has helped particularly with yourself. Are there any other, what are your clients coming in for? What do they usually seek you out for?
Yeah. So I'd say majority of my clients come in for sun damage and wrinkles and aging help. That's like a very common one. And then I have quite a few that come in for that acne that just won't go away. And I can really relate to them a little bit more so just because I've been through it before and I've struggled with it. But those I'd say are like the two most common. And then I have like a sliver of the people that come just to get a facial and fall asleep.
Sydney, could you talk to us about sun damage? I thought it was really interesting the way that Laurel approaches it, because she doesn't really recommend like overt sunscreen. And some of her products that she uses, was it red raspberry or
red raspberry seed
red
oil?
Raspberry. Yeah. Could you talk more
Mm-hmm.
about that? Because I find that interesting. And, I'll use the body with it, sun
body oil.
Sun body oil, which smells so good. And then the one for the face because I think sometimes that people are afraid of this. I mean, they slather themselves, you know what I mean? And then they're not able to absorb their D. And could you speak more about that?
Yeah. So my opinion with that, I always try to tell my clients, the sun isn't evil. The sun is beautiful. We need the sun. And to not overdo it, there's always a good balance. And with L'Oreal products, they contain so many powerful plants that have a natural SPF with a bunch of antioxidants as well that help our skin with the sun and how it receives it. So I really love the concept of using those plant oils. And then if you're outside for an extended period of time, then you can apply like a mineral sunscreen. But if not, I like the day balm. I think the day balm is a really good, adds a layer of cellular defense, really good, really brightening and protecting. That's like my number one recommendation for sun. But yeah, like moderation. You still want to get outside and enjoy the sun and enjoy the benefits. Just don't slather yourself. And I have had people tell me they slather themselves in like butter, literally, and lay out in the sun. And that's not good. That's not recommended.
I agree with you. I think the sun is really healthy. It is, establishing a relationship with the sun. I think that that's really important. Okay, awesome. So what other products do you like using? So as far as like, say, women who are maybe transitioning through perimenopause, I have a lot of patients in my practice. And so we worry about wrinkles and we worry about, that kind of stuff, collagen production or lack of it as our hormones shift and change. Anything that you would recommend?
So I'd say the top recommendation I have is the antioxidant serum. It is so powerful and brightening for the skin, and it also protects the skin from inflammation with all nutritive rich plants. That is really going to help like that age group, the menopausal stage. And it also helps lower that inflammation, which is something that I see happens a lot during that time.
And these products that you're using, I mean, it's an investment they're not something that you can get at the store. And I actually don't, I mean, I like using products it almost is like medicine, it's like supplements for the skin, and they do have a little bit higher price point, not going to lie, but it's like, you don't have to buy anything else. Like, do you know what I mean? And then once you feel pretty balanced and stable, there's just a few products, which I find last me, 3 to 6 months. So I don't go through those tubs like often. So I do find that that's an investing in that, and your skin is really, I mean, I think worth it. I love the cleanliness of the product. And I also, when I buy these things, I also look at like where things are sourced and who's making it, and the love that goes into it and the intention that goes into me. It makes it a really powerful line as well. Do you agree with that?
I do. Everything about the Laurel brand and the way they take care of their people and the way they prioritize our planet is one of the big reasons why I want to carry it forever. Their motto is committing to do no harm to people or planet. And like you said, with the farming and where they're sourcing it from, it's local. It's local, it's fresh, and everything about it is wonderful.
It really is. So for any tips for our listeners, what are some simple ways, getting more into the holistic organic skincare practices would you recommend for them to start doing, even at home today?
So I love raw manuka honey.
Ooh,
yeah,
me too. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So
Tell me
with raw manuka honey, it has to be raw manuka honey. It can't just be any kind of honey, or you're not going to get the same benefits. But it is so good for any type of skin ailment. Majority of my acne clients do this. They go home, they slather it on their face. They let it sit for like 10 minutes. They might do a little bit of honey tapping. I don't know if you know what honey tapping is. So that is where you put your hands on your face with the honey, and then it will get sticky, and you'll kind of move up and down across the face in different areas down into the neck, and it helps stimulate lymphatic drainage. So for my acne clients, that can be really helpful to get things moving, that waste moving. So honey tapping and then removing with a warm washcloth. And that is like its own little facial. That, like, if I could pick one product in your cabinet, it would be raw manuka honey, 100%. So,
any particular strength you use?
There's not a particular strength. Mm-mm.
So I first came across this in my practice when I was in Pennsylvania, and so we use manuka honey for, yes, just like that. It's almost like a antibacterial. So with kids, when we would see them on tons of antibiotics and they would have skin issues, we would just like stop that and then put the manuka honey on there. There have been some studies out of the UK, I believe, that were using that like for impetigo in children that worked really well. The other way that I love to use it is when you have a cold. So put it in your tea and just let it like slide down your throat because of its beautiful antibacterial properties. I'm not sure. So it was interesting. My sister lives in Australia, and they have manuka honey like super inexpensive in like their local like drugstore, CVS, at like the 45 plus whatever. I know, because it's from New Zealand, or is it New Zealand or in around that area, but it was really accessible, and it was just a thing that people use medicinally like that. It's a little more expensive because it's not local to the States, but again, like you said, I mean, you get a big tub that's going to last you forever and ever. And they had a time when they have to slow that down because everybody was using Manuka honey and it was like really expensive to send. I mean, all the rage, but I mean, it's expensive because you have to, import it from over there. But yeah, that's a great thing. Cuts, anything where you would use like a triple antibiotic or, where you don't want to take too many antibiotics, and that it's also super helpful. I didn't really realize you could put it on your skin though.
Yeah, and also it's really good for exfoliation. So Laurel has that honey berry mask.
Yeah.
Uses Manuka honey. Yeah.
Oh, I have that mask. Okay.
Yes. And so you can do that honey tapping with that mask. But that honey is just so great for enzyme exfoliation. You're not going to have to scrub and tear up the skin. You just let it work its magic. It will eat away at all the dead skin cells.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it good for hydrating as well? I mean, does it put...
Yes, it's a humectant. So It's really good for anybody dealing with any dehydration.
Okay, I love that. That's good to know. Awesome. So in addition to that, being able to adopt more of that holistic mindset when it comes to caring for their skin. So, we would love it if they would come and use L'Oreal products and have facials with you. But if they're, still thinking about it, like what do they need to be looking for in their products or making sure is not in their products when they're buying it over the counter or wherever?
Yeah. So my opinion with products, less is more. So don't focus on trying to get a big variety of different products. Just focus on a few essentials. So like a cleanser, a hydrosol, and like a facial oil. And from there, I would just make sure there really wasn't any like artificial colorings, fragrance, anything that is stripping to the skin. So if that cleanser is foaming, it's probably not going to be great, in my opinion. And then brands that I'd recommend, I like Cocoa Kind. A lot of my clients that have kids, they got their kids on Cocoa Kind. It's really nice and gentle and good quality. And then Mad Hippie. Mad Hippie's a really good brand as well.
So could you tell us, could you kind of run down your menu of what you offer?
So facial wise, I offer a 30-minute, it's called Organic Express Facial. And that's just to kind of get your toes in the water and see what you feel about a facial. And it's also for my clients that just don't have enough time. And then I have the Laurel Whole Plant Organics 60, 75, and 90-minute facial. The 60 is, I'd say, the most popular. We're going to go through all the steps of a facial with massage, light therapy. And then if you go up to a 75 or a 90-minute facial, I'll add in some extra gua sha, hand and arm massage, more light therapy time if needed. So it just kind of depends on what you're feeling, what your budget is. So
you just added dermaplane. Did you add that also? Okay.
I haven't added it onto the website yet. I'm just taking clients that I know have gotten a facial through me before and taking them like that, because I'm a little hesitant adding it on the booking website just because I know I'll have a lot of people that aren't candidates for it try to book.
Who would be a candidate for dermaplane?
So somebody that would be a candidate would be, they don't struggle with cystic acne. Like I can't do that over somebody who has multiple pimples that are sore, inflammation, rosacea. If you have rosacea, that's just not going to be an option for you, unfortunately. And then mature women that are experiencing dryness, sun damage, or fine lines they're noticing pop up in certain areas, that's like the ideal candidate, as long as they're not struggling with acne or inflammation like rosacea. So
because you're lightly like sort of scraping like the top layer of skin, right? So you don't want to be open sores. So that makes sense. Could you go more into the light therapy also?
Light therapy? Yeah. So Laurel products with light therapy is like a match made in heaven. They go together so well. So normally after our facial, I put that light therapy above my clients It is very healing for the skin. You're not going to feel it. Just have a mask over your eyes and relax. But I love light therapy for decreasing inflammation, which everybody has. Everybody has it. Increasing that collagen and elastin production, softening any fine lines. And then also for like my acne clients, I'll use a different colored light. And that color light, which is blue, would be good for helping with some antibacterial qualities. So,
How beautiful. That's amazing. So where could, I can tell people like, where is her booking? What's her booking link right now? So where can we learn more about Sydney Kate Aesthetics and book an appointment with you?
yeah. So I have an Instagram and a Facebook. It is Sydney Kate Aesthetics. So you can always book through there if you want or message me. But I also have a website on Google that will take you through all my treatments. You can also buy gift cards on it. You can message me through there and then book your appointment through there as well. So,
yeah. So Christmas is coming up, and
yes,
it's a great present for yourself.
Yes.
I need probably do that for myself or for other people, your loved ones. So cool. So any other new products that you're bringing, anything for 2025 that you're bringing in, anything, any new offerings, anything like that we can look forward to?
So I'm really, really interested in offering manual lymphatic drainage. I just feel like that is like my thing. I've been so interested in it. I literally read about it all the time. It's like so interesting to me. So I would love to get certified in that. And there is a place in Tennessee, maybe about 2 or 3 hours from here, that if I get the baby taken care of, everything else is good, I would love to go down there and get certified next year and then be able to offer that.
I think that's so important, and we don't realize sometimes how much like toxins and fluid in our lymph gets kind of blocked up, and how important that is to detox our system. And that's the purpose of the lymph, right? But it gets stuck in there, right? And so if we're not moving that, and I often see that in people who like think that they're like gaining weight, particularly around here, and it's just like, it's, you're just not draining, like you're just not draining the fluid out of your face and through your axilla and the lymph nodes and the inguinal area. And I think that's really important. Particularly, I think it's, and I tell this to my women going through perimenopause as well, because of the collagen. I mean, our lymph system, our drainage system slows down a bit because we have less collagen, which you need to sort of like pump that out. So dry brushing and lymph drainage and gua sha and all of that is like really important. And here's the thing. I just feel like when we are paying attention to that, it's a connection to your body. It's a very sensual experience of like touching your body, like getting to know your body again. Do you know what I mean? And like, there's some Ayurvedic practices that do like Abhyanga, that of self massage, where you're actually like you're oiling. And it's just, if you just take like 10 minutes and like, do that, it's a reconnection, I feel, to yourself that I think is lost, particularly in women, when we're so busy in our heads doing for other people. It's like, to me, it's an act of self-love and self-care, of like, where all your body parts are, how your skin is, you know what I mean? And it's not vain. Totally. I just love that. And it's a very feminine frequency sort of, I think, act of, and we're so operating so much in our masculine all the time, of the doing and the list and the da-da-da. And I just feel it's like a very down-regulating, loving ritual to incorporate, to even for your face and your body, like you're saying. Yeah. Awesome. I'm so excited.
Oh,
Like
thank
add all the
you.
things. We'll watch your children. Like we'll
Yes.
like, you go down there for a week. We'll watch your kids. So I'm so excited. So thank you so much for sharing your passion, your practice, your lifestyle, and offering this to the community. So, and I couldn't wait to talk to you because I know what it's, how much you've invested in yourself, your life, and the product, and to put something this beautiful out there in this community. So, and those listeners who are not in the area, I mean, you can definitely come visit this area, but you could also look on, well, is it Laurel Organics?
Yes.
Skin,
yeah. You can click on Find a Spa. So they will show you the nearest spa that carries Laurel.
Yeah. Which isn't a lot in this area. That's why
it's not.
I think there's only a couple in Kentucky, right? Here. Or you're the only one in this area. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Yeah. 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 So that's why I'm super excited. So thank you so much. And I'm going to book my appointment.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Soul of Medicine podcast, where science meets soul for whole health healing. Are you ready to reclaim your energy, vitality, and soul purpose? Then feel free to head to our website at kcorpusmd.com and schedule an appointment for your root cause review.